firstly, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself? What has been your association with the Waiparaira Trust Te Pāti Māori, John Tamihere?
So I worked there a couple of years ago. I worked for the Whānau Order Commissioning Agency, which is sort of the organisation which has been involved in the Money Marae, now we call it a scandal. So
just for the uninitiated, and this is the problem with this, as I was saying earlier, the complex nature of all the agencies and funding and everything and who's related to. So Whānau Ora was an agency that bid for government contracts to do community programs related to Māori?
So it's, as you sort of correctly identified there, it's all a bit complex, really. So the Whānau Order Commissioning Agency was basically set up to get money from Te Puni Kōkiri and then fund other Māori organisations around the country to do Whānau Order work, really. So
social work. We call it social work. Pākehā terms? Yeah, okay.
I think social work's probably the correct term. It's what you would kind of traditionally consider the work of an MSD.
All right. Yep. Okay, so you worked for Whānau Ora. What was your background? Had you been in government? You've been a public servant?
Yeah, so I've been a public servant for a number of years, mostly working for the Ministry of Health and for a number of DHBs. So I was used to that type of work, mostly in the sort of the comms space, I guess you'd call it. But yeah, when first thing I showed up, and it was quite clear that this was not like any other job. It was originally meant to be working for the Whānau Order Commissioning Agency, but the second I got in there, I realised pretty quickly that the lines between the Whānau Order Commissioning Agency, the Waiparaira Trust, the National Urban Māori Authority, all of these groups sort of exist on paper, but in reality, they're all one entity, really, and they all have one leader.
And who's that leader?
John Tamihere.
All right. This was prior to the formation or to his taking over of the Māori Party?
Yes. So it was just prior. There was conversations being had in the background that we were made pretty aware of because, as I said, there were no clear lines between organisations, and really if you worked for one, you worked for all of them, potentially including Te Pāti Māori.
So it was like an organisation, it was like an outfit, it was like a firm with all these component parts, but really it was just one big organisation.
Yeah, exactly. They're all housed in one building in Henderson, West Auckland. There's no real lines between which one. We all had the same sort of IT and other departments. We all worked across everything. So
did that allow for some efficiency? I mean, I think the Waiparaira Trust has done a lot of excellent work over the years.
Oh, fantastic work. And that was why I felt happy to work there, actually, because I knew they were doing good work for the community, and that mattered to me.
Okay. How long did you stay there?
I was planning to stay there for a long time, and it ended up being less than a year because the longer I spent there, the more it was clear that, the efficiency is a good idea, and there's ways in which that can actually be really positive for the taxpayer and for people who are getting these services. But it's also quite nebulous, sort of where you work. You may have a boss on paper, but in reality, everyone's boss is just John Tamihere, and I have a background in sort of comms and lightly in policy as well, but you're asked to do a little bit of everything, and it's not really clear other than working for John, who you work for, or what.
So you're not leaving because you were required to do anything illegal, or you saw anything illegal or questionable, or ethically questionable?
No.
Okay.
Well,
you just didn't like the job.
No, it was more because of I think it's more I didn't like the leadership style, and I had concerns really about the idea that we're getting government contracts for some parts of this, and it's being spread around multiple organisations, and that's not really who the contracts were with.
Okay. Are you or were you at any stage in any sort of dispute with them or with John Tamihere?
No, not at the time. I mean,
are you now?
I chose to leave.
Are you now?
No.
Okay, I just want to establish that there isn't what he would call an ongoing gripe here, because that's been his accusation against these people talking about what happened at the Marae. And I just want to establish that you have no current legal dispute of any type with Mr. Tamihere or any of the entities he's involved with. Okay. Why are you speaking out now then? Why didn't you speak out years ago?
I think in the background I've raised concerns, but in terms of speaking out, the reality is there have been these issues around the delineation of where these contracts lie, who they actually lie with. Andrew Evans has highlighted something that actually struck a chord with me. So yeah, no, I don't have any personal gripe or issue. I think quite the contrary, really. I want these organisations. I really believe in the Waiparaira Trust. I'm worked with a lot of really brilliant, ethical people. I want them to be healthy. And I think John's leadership, both in style and in practice, is detrimental in the long run to these organisations.
I've got to say, your Substack article is very, very strong in a personal sense about Mr. Tamihere. And he often is a guy who says, "Oh, I'll take you to court. I'll sue you for defamation." It's pretty, you're not leaving much on the bench there, Haimona. And what you say?
No. For better or worse, I'm the kind of person who just felt a need to speak up when I need to, and to kind of call it as I see it. I'm not accusing